All right, folks, we are just about ready to watch LaurieDBunnykins demolish the rhythm game that beat me. This is Vivid Stasis.
All right. Hello. My name is LaurieDBunnykins, and yeah, welcome to Vivid Stasis. For those that aren't aware about this game, it is a seemingly pretty simple four-key rhythm game that has probably my favorite soundtrack and charting of any rhythm game, as well as a beautiful story mode, and it's all completely free to play. It's wild how much stuff is in this game, and it's free. But today I'm going to take you through just a small smattering of songs that I'm a really big fan of, and I think will be fun to show off. So I'm going to hop into Rhythm Play, which is just the standard, rhythm game gameplay. And we are going to start on Novena on difficulty middle 8. We're going to start our first song in 3, 2, 1, go. So Vivid Stasis, as I mentioned, very simple 4-key. I use the classic DFJK for the 4 lanes. But you'll notice these extra notes here that span 2 lanes. We call them bumpers. And you might be used to something like this if you've played like Sound Voltex or DJ Max, but they're actually not what you think. Instead of having their own unique button on their half of the lane, bumpers actually allow me to use either key on that side of the board. So I can use either of my right lane keys for the red bumpers and either of my left for the blue bumpers. And that's going to create a really fun and interesting dynamic in this game's charting, where bumpers can kind of be used to make these, like, almost sort of puzzles in the chart. They can be used to either guide you towards figuring out a pattern or obscure a pattern from you. They can be used to make your life easier or harder. They also have a much more generous timing window. You see in the bottom left my judgment breakdown. This game has critical, acritical, great, good, and miss. Bumpers have a very generous timing window in that they're about the same size as like a normal note would let you hit the note in any judgment. But if you hit the bumper at all, as well as the start of a hold note, you get an acritical automatically. So they also allow you to like freestyle a little bit with bumpers in this game. Obviously not too directly, because if you hit a note too early, you can miss it. But it allows the flow of this game to be a lot more like, I would say, like creative than a lot of other games, and like a lot more like satisfying to figure out. Which I think pairs really good with this game's charting style. This game is not afraid to go away from just like throwing you into the melody and making you play some really silly looking stuff. And that is our first song.
Absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Again, I tried this game, and the first, like, air quotes boss just laid me flat, so this is honestly a little cathartic.
Yeah. We'll be fighting some bosses later for sure. For now, we're going to jump up the difficulty a little bit to Crosshatch, which is a pretty interesting song. It is a difficulty 10 on middle, and it is entirely chiptune, which definitely not the first time a rhythm game has done this, but I think a lot of rhythm game association is very intense songs. And I like that this song kind of sounds more like a dungeon or something. I also think this song does a really good leveling up the understanding of bumpers that we're going to see as we get through the game and up to harder stuff. You're going to see them, like I mentioned here, these patterns which kind of suggest like what the bumpers could do, because like you could do the same lane twice there, but it would be a bit more uncomfortable. But like if you're better at that, you can do it. So it's again that combination of like kind of guiding you along to like figure out the pattern, but still like you can still do whatever's comfortable with them. and that's another all critical there. So all A criticals and standard criticals do have a little bit of a point difference. Obviously, A criticals are a little bit tighter. But if you get standard criticals, you can still get an all critical, which is like pretty much this game's perfect definition, I guess. You can, as you see in the bottom right, I got a V+. If you get all A criticals, you get a VS rank, and that's like the best score you can get on a song. So I was only 3 notes off of that, which is cool. But we are going to jump up now to... this game has 4 difficulties, as you can see, but not every song has the 4th encore difficulty. Every song does, however, have the 3rd finale difficulty. So we're going to jump up to our 3rd finale here with a song you may recognize from the game Unbeatable. And you're going to see, like, kind of the difference in philosophy between a finale chart and a middle chart. Where I mentioned in the first song that this game, like, I think its charting is very active, involved, and, like, it's not afraid to just, like, throw you into the head of the song and play whatever rhythm it has. And finale is the encapsulation of that. It's where the game isn't really holding back, ever.
Using proper rhythm, wiggle your fingers and jam the keys. A quick snap of the finger, and with practice, that's all there is to it. All there is to it.
But this song is pretty simple and also pretty recognizable. So if there are any announcements that we want to read out, I think the back half of this song is a great time to do so.
Well, surely, sure. For instance, I could announce that we're raising money for Point of Pride. Point of Pride is a trans-led and 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states and over 100 countries by providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. And that they're currently celebrating their 10-year anniversary, and in that time, they've raised nearly $6 million US in support of their mission. And I can also point out that we have Astrid the Horror Girl in the chat, who is going to be running Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 to cap off our run today, or our broadcast day today. Hi, Astrid.
And speaking of you shouting out our lovely community members, I do want to take this opportunity to say, if anyone in chat has any favorite rhythm game song, favorite rhythm game, anything, I would love to hear it, especially from the voice of our wonderful host that you can make them read if you donate to Point of Pride. So please feel free to share any opinion you have with me. I would love it. For this next song, we're going to be moving on to Gauntlet here, which has a few chart gimmicks. There are songs in this game where the chart can get a little funny at times. For these songs, I'm going to issue an extra strong, emphasis on this game's flashing lights warning, because it can definitely get a lot happening on screen during some of these visual gimmicks. So yeah, you can kind of see the visual like skipping around during this one. I am usually these are usually pretty tricky for me. I am pretty like visual reliant in these games. You might notice that my scroll speed, if you're more experienced with rhythm games, is not that fast. And that's not like a side effect of me just like wanting the showcase to look better. I like genuinely just play at the speed. I feel for a lot of people I know, I play at a pretty low scroll speed.
This is low?
Oh yeah, no. So this is like 7.5 right now in the in-game settings that go up to 20. Not that I think people actually play at 20, but I feel like I see a lot of people play in like the 10 to 12 range.
Okay, yeah, we have someone in chat who plays at 8.1, so yeah, wow.
Yeah. I think I'm a very reaction, like, not good person. So I need a lot of time to like realize a note is on my screen. As silly as that may sound.
Oh, I'm the opposite with these. I am pure reaction. Speaking of, I think my favorite rhythm game is Rift of the Necrodancer.
Very good game. I feel like I have like phases where I drop out of that game a little bit, and then I come back in even more in love with it every time.
The community does some terrifying things with the level, with the modding in that game.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think any modding community is scary. But moving on, I mentioned that not every song has this 4th encore difficulty. We are going to show that off. This is Voltage Strike by Altermis. Pretty dang good song. For context, this is, I believe, the 5th event I have shown this game off at, and I was going through the game's song list, trying to be really thorough, because this game actually pretty recently finished its updates, and they're working on a sequel that's slated to come out by the end of the year, called Polymorphite. So I really wanted to make sure that if I got this game into another event, I did a really good job showing off all the songs that I really wanted to, that I maybe haven't yet. And this is a song that I was very surprised has escaped my radar for 4 events. This is a really good song, and because of that, I just want to let it rock. I got a little ahead of myself there. All right, yeah. We're definitely at the point where a few flubs can happen in each song, just because, again, I have said this multiple times already, this game's charts are very dense. There's a lot of notes in a very short amount of time, so you definitely have to be very careful. We're also getting up the difficulty pretty quickly. The highest difficulty in this game is 17, which like only 3 songs are 17. The highest like normal difficulty you see is like 16 and 16 plus, and I'm already going to be moving my way on to a 13 plus here. So we're like climbing towards those higher end difficulties pretty dang fast. This is All I Ever Wanted. It's one of the most interesting songs in the game, in my opinion, and also one of the most recent. This game only finished up its final content in, like, last month. And this was part of its, like, final run.
Oh, this is so my jam, just right from the start.
This is the first song I'm really playing. This is a theme you're going to start seeing a lot more going forward. That really takes advantage of these like nicer timing windows that the bumpers have to just like make stuff that looks really, really annoying to play, but is actually like very reasonable if you know like what you're supposed to do. You're going to see these like bumpers like very, very close together, but you're able to roll them pretty easily, which is really nice, but it makes the game look flashy, that's for sure.
And you say there's 4 difficulty settings higher than that.
Absolutely. I'm surprised the back half of that song went well. That's usually the part of the song I think is harder. So, I mean, it looked cool.
That break was amazing.
But yeah, at this point, we're going to be moving up to the 14s, and we're going to be moving up to the songs that if they have an encore, we're playing it on encore. Pretty much for the rest of the showcase.
What a way to open a track.
Yeah, the song is pretty cool, pretty intense, nothing too special to mention. So this is another great one. If you have any announcements you'd like to read, this is a great time.
Nothing too special, she says. Alright, well, okay, so, we've got our, what have we got for, bids open? We have, ooh, we can add a Super Mario World 11 exit run to the All-Stars Shuffler. That, if I remember correctly, is coming up later tonight. So, oh no, I made the mistake of trying to read the schedule on stream. Oh, yep. Nope, that's coming up right after my hosting shift. That's going to be an any percent for all 4 no wrong warps. Look forward to learning what that means. And we can add 11 exits to that. We need a total of... Yep, we need a total of $500. We are currently at 70, but I believe in you, chat. I've seen you work magic this event.
I will throw in another cool thing you can do to the pool, which is just like, on top of donating with your favorite rhythm games, or just like any rhythm game opinion you have, not to toot my own horn a little bit with this one, but you should just donate anytime you're like impressed, or like once you are, I think. I want to see...
I encourage
I want to
this.
see the point where everyone finally is just like, whoa. You know, if you aren't already. That was very close to an all-critical, which would have been really cool, but happens to the best of us. Coming up next, we have another one of those gimmick charts. This is going to have a lot of visual happening. So again, extra strong emphasis on that flashing lights warning if you're worried about that. But this is images. This is from the mobile rhythm game Noise Starlight, which is like one of the, like, pretty much one of, if not the rhythm game that got me as obsessed with the genre as I am now.
That one was actually called out in chat a little bit ago.
Hell yeah.
Alongside Liv trying to tempt people into DTX Mania. As well as a few of your rock band clone heroes.
Mhm. I also want to give a quick shout out to Noise Starlight for that game also has a lot of gimmick charts. This song is also like a gimmick in that game. And that game has like genuinely maybe the most creative like gimmick charts of any rhythm game. They are incredible. The game is like a rhythm game like bullet hell hybrid that uses your phone touch screen, and they use their play space to incredible effect. Definitely recommend like checking this song out in that game, whether you play it yourself or check out a video rather. Noise Starlight is, I call it free to start. I think it's technically possible to play through the whole story without paying, but it is usually recommended you like pick up some of the things you can get for paying for like EXP boosters and extra songs. And I also think that this song is directly locked behind one of the paid passes, so... But it's absolutely worth it. I think I've only spent like $30 on it max. And I've done like so much. Ugh. Yeah, that song is tricky. Even without the visual stuff, it's just a tough one to play. But the nature of a showcase like this is that it's only getting tougher. We're going to go from 14 to 14 plus. As you can see here, we're just starting to scale the ranks a little bit for these next few songs. This is Zilphexica by Kyatsuyan. It is a song from the recent Chapter Alpha, which was like part of like some of the last set of updates that just provides some additional story context to the game's story. Have I mentioned that this game has an incredibly big, awesome story, and this game is free?
Yeah, the story is something I am qualified to speak on. The story is why I bashed my head against Pyromania as hard as I did.
I don't know how long ago you did that, but actually, I'll not finish my thought. I'll let you answer the question first.
I can't remember at this point. I think it was earlier this year.
Okay. I was going to say, for those of you that are also worried about being in a situation where you can't continue the story because of a boss fight or something, this game does have a lot of the boss fights have what's called the prelude difficulty, which is just like a really simple chart just so you can kind of get through it if you want to see more of the story, but you're stuck on a song in particular.
Oh, I definitely need to go back to this then.
Yeah. And I mean, there's absolutely no shame in using it. Like, not only is it just, I think, important to see the story, this game's story is incredible, but like even on opening, some of these boss songs do not play around.
Yeah, as myself, a trans woman who's a bit of an idiot, I felt very seen by this game's protagonist.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be nicer to myself and say huge dork.
There we go. We got our full combos again. Yeah, that is a really fun song. I like that song a lot. Kyatsuyan is also responsible for my favorite song in the game, a song called Supernova, a song that I cannot share any more context for. You just gotta play the game. Coming up is a song that may be another, speaking of favorites, might be one of my favorites on the whole list here. This is Synthesis. And Synthesis is actually part of a tournament. Back at the end of 2024, there was a tournament held for this game called the Sunrise Showdown. And it led up to what eventually would be the hardest song in the game. It was, at the time, I think, the first 17, and then they changed the difficulty rating. So it was the first 18, and then they changed it back. So it's currently the first 17 to be added in the game. And for my money, probably still the hardest song in the game. This is not that hardest song in the game, but this is one of the songs from the tournament, and as you can imagine, they were not playing around for the tournament. So I'm going to focus on this one, but also please just enjoy this song. Oh,
And to everybody putting dancing emotes in the chat, same.
thank you. Yeah, that again. I love that song so much. That was a pretty good run at it too. It's a song. A lot of songs in this game can fall apart really easily. If you miss one note, you're on the slide. But I feel like I did pretty good. Coming up is our last song. Doesn't have an encore chart, but it's still a 15 plus. Because it's great. It's awesome. This is Rathlesia by Gardens. Kind of staying in the tournament mold a little bit, but not exactly in the same way. This is a song from the Os Taiko Global Showdown, which runs events, also kind of acts as like almost like a label of sorts for some of the artists that help them. This song's so stressful. We're coming up to what I consider the hardest part, too, which is funny. It's only getting harder. Okay, we just have one more piano part here, and then, like, one more drop. This is definitely one of the, like, a very gauntlet of a song.
Yeah, Chad, I want you all to focus on that drum line, and she's dropped one note.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, I feel like I cast or cursed you on that one, and
It
I'm
happens.
sorry.
It happens. It's okay. If it makes you feel better, my first FC on that song was, like, literally a day ago. So it's not like I was gunning for it super big. I mean, it would have been nice to do it again. I made it really far in that, but you know how it is. That's still a ridiculously good score.
You missed the number of notes that I would have hit.
All right. Before we move on to our next song, I do want to stretch my wrists. You know, that's important. So if you have any time, like any announcements you want to make before we hop into the last 3 songs of the showcase, please go for it.
Oh, do I ever? Okay. So we have a $250 donation from Anonymous that says, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, Vivid Stasis. Vivid Stasis. Vivid Stasis. And that goes to the Super Mario World 11 exit incentive for later on tonight. brings us over halfway there. As a reminder, as I have confirmed myself, that is to add an 11 exit run to a shuffler of Super Mario World runs that is going to be happening after Contra tonight. So we need to get that finished by the beginning of the run so they can add it into the pool. But we are well on our way thanks to that. Thank you very much, Anonymous.
All right. And with that, before we get started, I want to remind everyone, I've mentioned this for past charts with visual gimmicks, a lot harder charts in this game, especially if they're part of some big moment in the game's history or the game's story, tends to do things with the visual effects. So for this entire last run of 3 songs, I'm going to emphasize a flashing lights warning one more time. For those worried about it, please take caution. But we are going to start with Aria of Ruinated Winds. This song's super pretty. I love this song a lot.
Oh, it's my favorite Castlevania game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a small roll of bumpers near the end of that. This song, I feel like I say things about every song. This song, especially though, is very compact. So it's very easy to miss one thing and get a little bit out of tune, and you're you're all over the place. You're scrambling. It's rough.
It feels like a very flow state sort of affair, yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, hi Raiders!
All right. Yeah, like I said, that song is super pretty. I love that song a lot. And now we're moving on to one of my favorite, more recent songs. We are going to be moving on to Evanescentia, which this one's going to speak for itself. Along with some of the songs that I FC'd for the first time a day or two ago, I was trying to get this one yesterday, and I got fairly close. So, not to curse myself, but we'll see if it happens. Also, we are in the 16s now, which means outside of, like, again, literally 3 songs in the whole game, we are at, like, the hardest number this game has to offer. Ah, there's the drop. Pretty far, though. Pretty dang good so far. No FC, but it is a high score. Wow.
I wish you could see the face that I made when that song kicked in.
Yeah, this song is awesome. This is one of my new like favorites in the whole game, and it was added like just about 2 months ago.
Oh, Garby pointed out that was a PB, I think.
Yeah, it is. You can see at the bottom right, it says my score and my record below it. And I PB'd
Well
by
done.
just over 1,000. That was a really good play of the song, honestly. I thought that was going to be a PB if I kept it up, and I did. But now we have one more song. And this song was intense. This next song is a bit more celebratory, but definitely difficult. We are going to jump up to the 16 plus for Stargazers. Stargazers is, as you can see in the bottom left, by Proxime, which is a collective of 10 different artists that all worked on this song together. I can't name them all individually because I don't think I can remember every name right now, and I don't want to say some names, but not all of them. I feel like that would be a little sad for the people I can't remember right now.
You want me to try and look it up while you're doing it?
No. It's
All right.
at this point, I think it's just best to enjoy the madness. And that is time. That is my first S plus on that song. S plus is 990,000 or higher. I think I mentioned this at the start. Every song is out of 110 million. So 995K is pretty dang good. Yeah, the start of that song is the start of that song is fast. Just the raw streams. They really put you through that. But yeah, that is all I have today. Thank you so much for everyone who showed up to see this. This game is so much fun. I can't praise this game enough. Some of my favorite charting, some of my favorite music, really good story, so much good other side content. Like, there's so much stuff if I just scroll down here. Like, there's so much to do in this game. It's free. Did I mention that? I did. I'm mentioning it again. Shoutouts to everyone who worked on this game. This game is incredible and awesome, and I could be here forever. I want to shout out also specifically, you can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky, and you'll also catch me tomorrow running Metro Gravity, which is another very underrated, very amazing game that I want you all to check out and then play for yourself. I can't wait for that. There's so much fun the rest of the weekend. Again, I need to cut myself off because I could talk forever. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for enjoying. Everybody have a great rest of their day.
Hey, I almost need a minute to compose myself after that. All right, folks, one more time, let's hear it in chat for Laurie for just an amazing showcase. Oh, that was... I kept thinking, like, you know, oh, I'm hosting, I should be reading more. I was just getting lost in the music. I was just vibing. But anyway, for all the new folks who joined during that, we are Power Up with Pride 2026. We are raising money for Point of Pride, which is a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization that specializes in different forms of direct support to trans folks, such as offering grants to cover electrolysis for permanent facial hair removal for trans folks who can't afford it. We're going to be coming back in just a few minutes here with Nex Machina co-op. And until then, maybe just, like, relax a bit. That was pretty intense.